Today, tens of thousands are again expected to fill St. Peter's Square. The public is getting the chance to say goodbye to Pope Francis.
His body will lie in state inside the historic St. Peter's Basilica through tomorrow evening when, according to church law, his coffin will be closed ahead of his funeral on Saturday.
Here's Jay Gray with a closer look at the ongoing 9 days of mourning, the secret process to select his successor, and what many Catholics are looking for in their new pope.
The line stretching from St. Peter's Basilica winds through and around its famous square, thousands waiting for hours to spend just a few seconds inside.
Walking in, it's such a surreal place, and it's very holy, and seeing the body and just remembering everything that he stood for is very important.
Important for so many, remembering the humility, kindness, and commitment to the less fortunate and disenfranchised, they say, defined Pope Francis.
Isn't he somebody very close to our hearts, somebody who made the church very accessible to everybody and inclusive to everybody, and yeah, like a family member for us, yeah.
For his church family, specifically 135 Catholic cardinals, his passing brings with it the difficult responsibility of deciding who among them will take his place.
We have to wait to pray and to have our meetings, and then afterwards we decide.
Those meetings, the highly secretive conclave behind the locked doors of the Sistine Chapel. Many here hopeful they will elect a new pope who will continue the mission and message of his predecessor.
And he taught us all how to be Christians and to be human. And we want Pope Francis II now.
As they honor the original. Jay Gray, NBC News at the Vatican.
As the first Jesuit pope, then Cardinal Jorge Mario Bergoglio, that was his name, he took the name Francis to honor St. Francis of Assisi.
St. Francis was a 13th century saint known for his poverty, humility, and pursuit of peace, which set the tone for the 12 years that Pope Francis led the Catholic faith.
And here at home, Idaho's Catholic community honoring the life of Pope Francis as well. They held a memorial mass at St. John's Cathedral in Boise yesterday afternoon.
Church leadership says even though Pope Francis had been sick, the news of the beloved Pope's death was still sudden and emotional. The doors of the Cathedral of St. John the Evangelist covered in black right now to show mourning for Pope Francis. Bishop Peter Christensen of the Roman Catholic Diocese of Boise calls Pope Francis a true pastor who had a desire to help those across the world who were suffering. Bishop Christensen also has some personal ties with Pope Francis, having met the pontiff back in 2020.
After a meeting with him, I was leaving his presence, and he pulled my hand as I shook it tight and close to him, and he looked at me right in the eyes and said, "Pray for me, please pray for me." And I would never expect a pope to say that to a bishop. You know, I'd say, "You pray for me." But there was such earnestness in that request, I thought, I've got to pray for him. And I subsequently learned he says that to a lot of people, but if he does it with the same kind of earnestness, it was beautifully haunting that I need to do it. It is my responsibility to pray for this man.
Bishop Christensen says in the wake of the Pope's death, he feels sorrow, but also joy for the blessings Pope Francis brought the church. He says after this period of mourning, he encourages Idahoans to pray for whoever is chosen as the next pope and that they continue the legacy of the church.